I moved to a poor country, changed religions, and canceled my surgery for my wife that cheated on me. Non-fiction. I am 22, was in the army, stationed in Europe, when I met a woman at a coffee shop and asked for her number. We started dating, but because she was Arab, her family didn't allow her to date. After 3 months, she proposed the idea of marriage, though we wouldn't actually get married until month 7. I agreed, and since my army contract was about to end, I left the military and planned to move to Europe for this woman. I'm American. I don't know how to explain it, but even after just 3 months, I felt as if I had known her my entire life. We talked about religion, and she told me that if this relationship were to work, I would need to convert from Christianity to Islam. I converted and began reading the Quran and watching videos to learn more about the faith. At this point, I had left the army and fully moved to Europe. When I arrived in Europe, I developed a hernia and needed surgery. I'm not sure how I got it, probably something related to my time in the army. I remember walking out to the hospital lobby to tell her about the surgery. She tried to comfort me, but she couldn't hold back her tears, and they started rolling down her cheeks. I reassured her, saying, "I'll be okay. It's just a simple surgery." She replied that she knew but was still worried about me. At that moment, any doubts I had about her being my future wife disappeared. How could someone try so hard to hold back tears if there weren't real emotions behind them? After I left the hospital, she started researching the type of hernia I had and what she could do to help me recover. She carried all the groceries, cooked for me, and let me lean on her while we walked. From that point on, I knew I'd do anything for this woman. I even canceled the surgery to marry her first, rescheduling it afterward despite the doctor advising against it, even though I had fully moved to Europe and was working on converting for her. There was one issue. I had to meet her grandparents in the Middle East to get their blessing. This made me uneasy because, during my army career, I had heard some unsettling stories about the Middle East. Still, I told myself that if I didn't go through with this, I'd regret it for the rest of my life and always wonder about her. Somehow, I managed to get an entry visa into Iraq, which surprised me since I'm American. I met her grandparents, and they approved of me marrying their granddaughter. Afterward, I went to Germany, where the rest of her friends and family lived, and met them as well. By this point, I was learning German because her brother only spoke German, and I was also learning Arabic because her mother only spoke Arabic.